Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead.
What?
His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in
Cowell.
Lenny's magic troupe.
He was in the magic box. He was near it. Cowell died.
Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage.
Okay. Mystery, investigation, murder. This is all starting to seem like Danganronpa more and more, and I love it.
As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience.
So he was inside the box.
Search of the area,
Wait,
guards have confirmed that the
that's
girl
weird.
is nowhere to be found.
Okay, so what I think
that this
is,
incident was not merely some mishap with the performance.
This girl was definitely the thief from back then, and Lenny probably wanted to capture her and send her to prison, which he actually said it out loud, but just in a different matter of speech.
And there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
Oh, Jesus.
The serial disappearances case?
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before.
Okay, they are pinning it on this case of disappearance of women. But I still have a feeling that Lenny planned her disappearance. And to pull it off like this, in front of an audience, including the Archon and Chief Justice.
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really, using such a shallow and obvious mystery as his finale.
Oh, she's gonna blame it on him,
really
on Lenny.
underestimate us that badly. I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Lenny, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
They blamed it all on him.
Why me?
All of
This
them.
whole thing was an accident.
No, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen, did she not? The deceased is one of your assistants, is he not? Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a provocation, a bald-faced challenge. That can't be right. How can Lenny do this? He was in the box on the stage the entire time. We can even hear his voice. Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances. He couldn't possibly mean catching himself.
He's a suspect at most.
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Lenny and his associates, and that you are pressing charges?
I just think that he... Well, I think it might be a little early to talk about formally pressing charges.
What was that? Was she just trying to show off? Or what are you doing?
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense. Looks like she's gonna personally deliver justice.
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show. Lady Farina said it all.
Again, it just doesn't make sense. I said what I think what happened. But again, after playing so many games, the detective games, the novels and stuff, it's just pretty easy to guess that this is too simple of an answer. That when all clues are leading to this one person, it just reeks of someone setting him up.
I mean, of course, my dear people. But what excites me even more than the obvious truth before our eyes is the opponent I'll be facing.
What are you
That's
doing?
Right. I mean you, Traveler. You'll
Oh.
support Lenny, won't you?
Oh, so
After
that's how
all,
it is.
He was the one who helped you the first time we met.
Huh. You want me to be his lawyer, huh? You want me to defend him? Here, listen, I'm starting to suspect that you made this whole thing up just so you could face against me. I trust Linny. Well,
Then there's
kind
no
of.
problem at all. You know, the Traveler and I already had a duel the first time we met.
Oh, so that was a duel. Huh. I thought you were just showing
But
yourself
with
off.
Linny's help,
Just as
our
you're doing
little
now.
duel ended in a draw. But draws really are the most boring possible outcome. So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a riveting showdown and decide the true victor than here, on the grandest of stages, the Opera Epiclese.
Objection! Lack of bitches.
She obviously lost last time.
I understand. Charges have now been pressed, and as such, a trial is in order. Well, Traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, I would like to ask you...
So, what I'm seeing here is a pretty nice twist to all of that. We're not being pressed with charges, but we are going to be defending our client. We're going to be... We're literally going to be the ace attorney. Okay.
Are you willing to act as Mr. Linney's attorney and defend him in this
As an
case?
attorney. Yes, I am.
Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate the scene to build their cases and search for the truth.
I love this. I love this so much.
Linney and his troupe are all potential suspects and shall remain within the Opera House. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big shot Outlander can build in such a short amount of time. I'm really quite looking forward to hearing it.
Everyone is dismissed and the audience begins to leave along with Farina and Neuvillette. Okay, that is a nice twist to all of that. I
Sorry
like
about
what's going
everything
on.
That happened just now. Were you frightened?
Linny, this is about you.
Course.
Are you
Scared
okay?
after witnessing an accident like that.
I can't imagine what you're going through right now.
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. How could this happen? And poor Cal.
Cowl
I
died,
know
just
you already
like in
claimed
the
that you would
snap of the
defend me,
fingers.
But now it's just us talking.
This is what I like to see.
Tell me, do you think I could possibly be the murderer?
You could be the murderer, but I don't believe you are. However, I suspect that you might be responsible for the girl's disappearance. This particular one. Because I knew who she is. Because I know who she is. And I know that you have the motive to make her disappear. Into the prison or somewhere. So it is a possibility. I'm not sure about the murder though. I don't think you committed the murder. If everything played out exactly as Neuvillette said, so the fireworks on the stage lit up the rope that was holding the cage fell. It sounds like it was prepared by staff, by somebody behind the scenes. Maybe Cowell was the one who wanted to kill Linny. As a possibility. I don't have any evidence yet.
Good to hear. Thank you so much for trusting me. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. But, if you ask me, the whole thing is mysteries layered upon mysteries, such that all that's left is confusion.
And misleading.
I don't
that
know whether what happened
leads
there
to
on the
you.
stage was purely an accident or not. And I don't know why poor Cal was in the box. As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. If someone tampered with my performance, then we need to figure out what they did.
So you don't know where the girl disappeared. Okay, I'm gonna have to talk to you about this trick of yours, swapping between boxes, so I could understand how it works. And what happened. with the girl. Because, I don't know, this seems like... I'm not sure if it's a lie. I'm not sure if you're lying to me. Maybe you are just lying straight to my face. And I suspect that as a possibility. But if you're not lying, then we're fucked.
Even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
But there's no denying that happened.
Which is precisely why we need to investigate. As this book says, the impossible could not have happened.
my God.
Whatever happened must have been that which is possible.
Where did you get these from?
Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh? Don't worry, Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel funds.
Wow, you have your own
I think they look
savings.
cute on you, Paimon.
Impressive, Paimon.
You have good taste, Lynette.
You never fail to impress me.
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't going to help me now.
Oh.
I need to get back to my normal self.
Yeah, you can hear it in his voice. Oh,
But with the guards
Jesus.
watching our every move, it's going to be
You just
especially
can hear it.
difficult for Lynette and I to prove our own innocence.
Yeah, which is why she
You
forced
agreed to be
me.
our attorneys. Thanks for that. We'll be counting on you.
Paimon is your attorney. I don't know about that. I mean, I'm gonna try my best, but I can't say anything for her.
Yes, thank you so much.
How are you used to this sort of thing? How?
Leave it to us.
You make it sound like every day you spend in court, Traveler.
Since we're going to start investigating,
I mean, I know what you mean, but
where
still.
did Lynette go during the performance?
Detective Paimon? I'm more interested in the second trick.
Ah, well, I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential trade secrets as magicians.
Trade secrets, huh? I'm your attorney, Lenny. You're gonna go to jail or death sentence or something.
I'm gonna go to jail.
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Lenny.
Yeah, you're being
I
kind of
suppose
unreasonable
you're
right now.
The truth behind our tricks is going to be important evidence that will be weighted during the trial.
Thank you.
'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. We've poured countless hours and spared no effort in perfecting it.
I'm sorry, but
But if
Yeah,
revealing our secrets
that's-
will help
that's,
you uncover the
um,
truth behind what happened, then it will be well worth it.
yeah.
We should go somewhere else if we're going
Yeah,
to
I'm
discuss
sorry.
our magic tricks. We'll go speak with
But
the
there's no
guards,
way to
and
get out
in
of
the
this one.
meantime, you can go investigate the stage and the seating
Huh.
areas.
Guards. It's written not like guards, but gardes. Guards.
Look, while the investigation teams are
Interesting.
still here. Detective Paimon is on the case.
I knew you would say that. I predicted that. Detective Paimon, I'm a better detective than you.
How's the
You're gonna be
investigation
Detective
going?
Paimon, and I'm gonna be a master detective.
I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'd avoid getting mixed up in this whirlpool of a mess if I were you.
Well, it's too late, I guess. She
Come
won't
with
let me go.
We'll see.
What is it?
The deceased is one of Linny's assistants named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The
Okay.
assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged.
Yes, which is why
As
they
you
could have
probably
set this
saw
up.
When you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowl inside it.
But why was Cowl inside?
This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces of the girl. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to snap. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Linny is the most likely person to have access to all these areas.
Lini and all the other stuff as well.
Are you both good friends of his?
Not really.
Well, you can't say we're good friends, but We've known each other for a little while.
A little
so in
while?
just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorneys.
Hey, he didn't convince me. Your Archon did.
I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience in the palm of their hand. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence.
People can also be the most reliable evidence.
Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know that I'm warning you for your own good.
Thank
Anyway, you may
officer.
investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious.
Whoever you are.
Who knows, maybe you'll be able to come up with some new evidence.
Oh, you can use the case record to confirm your current evidence and clue collection situation. Wow, this is awesome. What? You can check as yet undiscovered evidence and clues in the case record, then investigate the corresponding area to locate them. Use the perception skills to find evidence and clues that can be investigated within a certain radius around yourself. Wow, this is fantastic. Guards investigation report. The investigation from the guards indicates that the fireworks launched at the tail end of the magic performance set the rope dangling the water tank alight, causing the tank to fall and kill Cowell, who was within it. It seems evident that Lenny is the likeliest user of the prop to commit the crime. However, the reason for the victim being Cowell and the reason for the chosen lady's disappearance remain mysterious. The deceased's identity. The deceased is one of Lenny's assistants named Cowell. He was well trusted by all his colleagues. His job was setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. So this is the reason why I think he's involved in this.
Whoever the murderer was, why would
His job was setting up and inspecting the props. He could very well set this all up, for whatever reason. I don't know, I'm even thinking about a possibility that maybe he was serving someone with his life and was willing to sacrifice himself just to set this whole thing up. Or something. But that just seems kind of too much. So I really don't think that's the case. But if it is, I called that a detective in action. Oh my god, I freaking love this. This is so Danganronpa. Oh my god, I love Fontaine. Oh my god. The rope.
So this is the rope that broke and caused the water tank
Okay.
to fall.
One end of the rope is burnt. The other
Looks
one,
pretty durable.
what's the
How can it
deal?
be burned through so quickly by
It looks like it's
fireworks?
cut off. So either Lenny didn't realize this was a safety concern, which I don't think he did, or it was a setup.
Why are you suddenly so
A
serious,
clear setup.
Traveler?
Why are you not? What do you mean, why am I so serious, Paimon? I'm stressed
It's made
out!
from different material.
I'm an attorney!
Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it
It
left.
seems to be flammable. Like a type of flesh cotton.
So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of material in it, then that means...
If that's the case, then it's definitely a setup.
Let's take notes.
Special rope. This rope was used to suspend the water tank. It suddenly broke when the fireworks were being launched on stage. The investigation has shown that the location where the rope snapped was made of flammable material. So it's clearly a setup. Navi.
I've been keeping an eye on you
It's
for a while
these
now.
these fucking mafia dudes.
You mean us?
That's right. If I'm
Ah,
not
what a
mistaken,
soundtrack.
you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No? And by the looks of it, you're not from Fontaine.
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula?
Never.
From
We're not
mediating
from
disputes
here.
and providing
No, the
protection
Spanish
to
guitar.
solving conundrums. You name it. Spina di Rosula does it.
Why the
And
white
I,
white
Navia,
lines?
have the honor of being its renowned president.
Okay.
Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
I probably won't,
I'm Silver, her attendant.
but you can make me.
Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are under my purview.
What a voice. And I am loose. Demonil's various daily needs and affairs are under
I
my
am the second
purview.
generation president. Malus and the others are still used to my previous title.
They're mafia or
My
something.
apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that instead.
No, no need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Okay, if you say so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rosula anyway.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation at hand.
So you want to investigate as well? Huh?
That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter back from my father's time. Judging from the look of things, I find Linny an unlikely mastermind.
Yeah, because
Really?
you're
We
the
think
same
so
person.
too. That's why we're looking for clues now. But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally.
Mhm.
My unparalleled intuition.
Okay. Yeah, I think she read too many novels. And it's like, nah, this is too obvious. This can't be the answer.
Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever, wasn't she?
That is true. Absolutely true.
But that's not uncommon for her.
Oh.
If you remember, the justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away.
Oh.
Anyway,
So it's
a
just
trial
her
begins
being
the moment
silly.
someone levels charges. And,
Maybe.
of course, there was no way Farina was going to back
Unless-
down in that situation.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro Archon.
Who would?
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times, but liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her.
Well, when you put it like that.
Alright, I've answered your question. Now, it's time you answer mine.
Wait a minute, did that answer count?
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't hear any pointless questions from me. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
Well,
Thank you for the choice, game. Not always.
What would that be?
Something serious like a trial shouldn't be treated like entertainment.
See, Silver and Malus? I told you they'd be different.
Most astute of you, Demoiselle. I too think that the traveler's response was most excellent.
Most astute of you, Demoiselle. I too think that the traveler's response was most excellent.
No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent
I'm sorry,
the
old man.
audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on stage here must be based in fact. And if that can be done, boss, then
All right, that's quite enough, Malus. Anyway, I like your answer. You pass with flying colors. Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence. You two shall be my assistants.
wait! Since when did we become assistants?
Yeah, you're the one who was my assistant.
Well, I can be the assistant. Sure. Or your companion, if you like. I'm really not that fussy.
Companion is fine, I guess.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental in uncovering the truth. You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances. In this sense, our goals are aligned.
You have a point. Huh. You're quite the talker, aren't you, mister? And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
His
nothing to
eyebrows just... Oh my god.
Then.
We'll be making some preparations first. Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing Linny's tricks. Thanks!
Speaking of that, I think magic shows would be very popular in Poisson.
Poisson.
I can see that.
Poisson.
Maybe I should try to learn some magic. If I could make things disappear, cleaning my room would be a cinch.
You need not worry
Cleaning
about
the
such
room with
things,
magic
Demoiselle.
tricks.
That falls under
It's
my
like
duties.
everything is gonna end up
Right.
in your closet. This is all just the first act. I love this. I love this.
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave, you must register your identity with us first.
No, we're not leaving. We're representing Linny and Lynette as attorneys, so we're investigating the case. Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes, after the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on.
What about during the show?
I doubt there was much opportunity then, either.
How can you be so sure,
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still, I did not abandon my post, and I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to leave. We Melazines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here.
I'm sure there's a secret pathway
Alright,
somewhere.
thank you for your help. This will be useful info.
Although it would be weird why they didn't check it if it was. Because if it actually... there actually is a secret pathway, I'm sure Farina, of all people, would know about it.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
You've arrived. Who's this? Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower. Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and will be helping investigate this whole situation. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers? I would be most grateful.
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
You're gonna upset him.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
He said that to be polite, but in his head he's just like, God fucking damn it, my magic tricks. Everybody's gonna know them. Oh no, my life's work. No.
Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box.
Yep.
Prepared specifically for this switcheroo trick.
Yep.
But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here? Where did all that go?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it? Paimon didn't notice anything.
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting in the first row. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get?
Wait, does that mean there's another box inside this one?
Exactly. All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
Beneath the stage, okay. Yep, that's what I thought.
There's a passageway under the magic box.
And this passage linked the 2 boxes together.
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place.
But you still...
The 2
It
magic
was still
boxes
very
are
fast how
positioned
you
right above the 2
traveled
entrances
from
of
one
the tunnel.
box to another.
See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and
Okay.
lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the purpose of the box inside another box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing
Okay, so
had
the
ever
thought was
changed.
the box falling
That's how you did it.
here.
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Then what about your side of the trick?
Right. You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end.
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that
Phonograph.
effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
But you...
And what about
Wait, what?
Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting.
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
You?
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who.
Wait.
And that's my favorite part of this
Really?
trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
Did he have a star there? Oh my
That's how
god.
it all worked. Wow. Every detail you revealed was more amazing than the last.
I can tell a lot of thought was put into this.
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
Is that a vent? That's... it's a fucking vent. That is...
What is this
a
place?
motherfucking vent. Looks like a vent. You think so?
It seems someone could fit through here.
We're venting, guys.
Could this have been the suspect's escape route?
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them, the space would be too narrow.
But there are no other ways
Sus.
in or out of here.
I knew something sus was going on here.
Oh, you're right. Let Paimon write that down.
Okay, so now that we have the vent, what I feel like happened, since she was a
Seems we're
thief
just about
and
done investigating down here.
she
Yes.
recognized
Head
that
back up.
Lini knew who she was. When she came down here, she probably came out of the box, changed her clothes
Well,
to
we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus
blend
returns.
into
Seems to me
blend
that
in
there
with
are
the
several
others,
things that don't add up here.
and went through the vent.
Apologies
Vented.
for the wait, demoiselle.
Huh. Why can't we
What did the
go
guard
in the
say?
vent?
Did the criminal escape through the vent?
But if that's the case, we just don't know where this vent leads. If it leads outside, then it's game over. But if it leads inside the building, then it means that our missing person is still inside.
They believe the odds of that are very low,
Hiding.
since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement.
It leads
The
to the
guards have checked the
basement.
area carefully. No
Can we
one
go
left
to the
through
basement?
during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
No one
So
left.
the tunnels become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death are both quite inexplicable. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Linny and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the Oratrice will hear statements from both sides.
The Oratrice will too.
That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the Oratrice. To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice has its own will, and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. And not that this has ever happened anyway.
Fascinating.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the Oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the Oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? Paimon thought Neverlet called the shots.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment, which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice. Ah, yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
Huh? Why?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa, whoa! There's no need for that! Paimon thinks they have a point. That said, are they providing food?
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
Now it's not the time to be picky.
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts, too. I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all.
Paimon.
Just kidding, just kidding. Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Huh? Here? But how?
Understood, Demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
We're taking a short break or something.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the Demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snacks soon enough.
These three are quite the interesting group.
Must be a Spina di Rosula thing. I apologize if I butcher these names. Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's even better now. Paimon can't stop dreaming.
Those are huge macaroons.
These two
Jeez.
guys carrying all that stuff around?
Sheesh.
Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process. But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself. Beating the egg whites, grinding almonds, everything.
Ooh, she's a
I was
cook.
applauding.
Thank you for that contribution, good sir.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
That's not quite what Paimon meant, but okay.
Paimon was just thinking. Aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty, beating egg whites and baking like this?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy making snacks. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack. Anyway, give these a try.
They're
fresh out of
huge.
the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Only 3?
They're huge, Paimon. What do you mean only?
Well, eating too many
You
sweet
can be
treats
full with
might
just
send
one
all
of them.
that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite, strong black tea with a floral fragrance that
But
clears
sir,
the mind
that
and
tea
lifts
is
the spirit.
pink, not black. Why don't you
No
take
need
a
for
break as well?
concern. I'm merely doing as I should.
All right then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
So apart from the twins, we're left with 2 other people, the missing girl
Face
and the
the thud we
deceased.
heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel, resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
There's no evidence that this third person even exists.
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims, whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowell.
For now, I would consider Cowell a victim.
Secretly made
Sure.
modifications to the magic
Halsey,
box
I don't know.
in order to murder Cowell
Because the only two people who were in that tunnel.
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup,
were
she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off.
and
Nor
Lini.
does she have any motive? The guard said that she has never
Only
had
two of-
any
the
dealings
two
with
of
the
them
Magic
were there.
Troop's members.
Were we not thorough enough in our search?
We should have listened to
sound of things,
Lini's
this is turning into
testimony
an impossible
about
case.
what happened during the show. He just explained to us the
macarons are
trick, how it
amazing,
works, but he
Navia.
didn't say
They smell great.
how did it go.
Nice and crisp and
Exactly.
super
Did he
sweet.
notice anything strange?
They are my specialty after all.
Because if the girl was out of the
And
box
I
in the
see
tunnel,
you've
Lini would have saw
already
it.
had 5 of them.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3. Honest.
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough.
Oh, it's fine. Everyone knows how much you love eating.
Even you don't believe Paimon?
I actually do,
you.
but
If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach.
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. No big deal. Malus, set up the stove again if you would.
Huh? What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
there's really no need for that.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Is this really the time
Wow,
for all
this
this?
really is your hobby, huh?
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what
Yeah.
we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the two of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
All right. Thanks for your help and for the snacks.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
Probability of third person being involved.